Hello everyone and welcome. This is Mike Moon, Customer Success Engineer at NetApp. And in today's session, we're going to talk about creating data sets in Cognos. Now, the use case for creating data sets is to enhance reporting by adding attributes and metrics that DII is not currently collecting. A lot of times, customers will have that data in flat file, CSV format, or even just a spreadsheet, right? Structured or non-structured data. And Cognos has the capability to pull that in a flat format. It's not in a dimensional format, but in a flat format that we can use to combine with existing data. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually take a look at a data source that the customer has provided, and we're going to add that to our Cognos environment. So this is the data set that was provided to us, and it will contain a number of tabs at the bottom. You can see some different chart type data sets, and you have inventory, which is more structured data. Cognos will have a better time pulling that in, but it still will pull in the unstructured data, right? You can leverage this, and it actually, formats it for you and allows you to merge that with any existing DII collected metrics and attributes. All right, so what we're going to do is focus on the inventory piece at first. Then I'm going to show you how to leverage the other tabs as well, because it's important to know what's available once this gets imported. All right, so let's go through the import process. Now, the reason this use case is focused on bringing in shelf metrics as well as power metrics, all right, and looking at RU consumption and combining that with existing capacity metrics in our DII data warehouse. All right, so that's the use case, and that's what we're going to do moving forward. So we're going to bring up DII, and we're going to go to reporting. And once the reporting module loads, we're going to do a quick launch. We're going to update or upload data. Okay, and we're going to select the year inventory consolidated spreadsheet that I just showed you. And we're going to wait for that to initialize and upload. It takes about 30 or 40 seconds. Okay, and then once it finishes, we can navigate over to our folder, go to content, and just go to your content. All right, so by default, it's going to drop it in your private folder. All right, so here is the year inventory consolidated spreadsheet. And the next thing we're going to do is create a data module. All right, so what we do is we go here at the top menu selection and then click on new and then click on data module. All right, then we're going to select, and it defaults to your folder. So you're just going to select the year inventory consolidated spreadsheet and click OK. All right. Now you're going to select tables. It's actually pretty straightforward. Select all of them and click OK. That's all you do. All right. And then you need to save it. Once you get that in there, here are all the tables based on the tabs in the spreadsheet. Okay. And the key one here is inventory. And it'll bring in all the metrics and attributes that are associated with that table. So it is pretty cool. It allows you to get a lot more robust attributes and metrics inside of the Cognos environment to combine with our existing data. Really good stuff. So what we want to do is save this. Now remember this, save it to a public location. So under team content, I'm going to go to my report catalog folder and I'm going to save it there. And I'm going to call this my year inventory data module. There it is right there. Then I'm going to save it. Okay, so once you save it, now this is available for reports. Okay, so what we do is basically click on the same menu selection and go to new and then click on report. All right, and once we go there, we're going to create, and then we're going to select a data source. Okay, we're going to go to our Cognos environment and then click on the year inventory data module. All right, and then open it up, and there you go. The data comes right in. So if I wanted to take a look at that, all I have to do is bring my list over. All right, click OK, and then I can drag and drop any of this stuff. All right, so I'm going to select array. I'm going to select raw capacity. I can select model. All right, and it's just raw data. Like I said, you can select year. All right, and then you can run the report. And it actually loads pretty quick and gives you all the data associated with each array. All right, what I can do is add a data source from our environment, our DII environment, to this specific table by combining them. Okay, so you have to create a Cognos query and a Cognos join in order for that to work. All right, so let's take a look at how we do that. Okay, so what I want to do is go over to my queries. This is the data set. So I'm going to say inventory data set. Okay, and then I want to create a Cognos query, so I'm going to drag over a SQL icon, all right, and call this DII Cognos data, okay, and then change your SQL syntax to pass through and change your data source to inventory. This is just an example. We can do a lot of cool stuff with this, but I want to show you how to basically combine it, all right? So what I would do next is just test this data. All right, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just do, just to make it quick, I'm just going to type in select star from storage, okay? And then click OK. And then I'm just going to test it. And there is my DII specific storage data. This is my imported storage data, okay? And then we can do the combine. So what you have to do is a Cognos join. So you basically drag the join over, and then again, it's going to be a full join. I don't want to do any left, right, whatever. I don't want to do any of that. I'm just going to do a full join. So you're going to pull this down here and pull this down here, okay? And then go to your join relationships, click on new link, and just all you want to do is just set the link to array and name. Name is basically the storage name. It's the same thing, okay? And then when I do a one-to-one relationship, that's a full join, okay? So it's only going to pick the matches. And then what I can do is come down here, and I can pull in this data right here. And then if I want to get like manufacturer, or I want to get serial number, okay? So now I'm going to navigate back to queries. Just right click on the query and then view tabular data, and you're going to see the results. So basically you have your storage array, you have your model, your manufacturer, and serial number, which came from DII. The rest of the data comes from the imported data set. And now you know that you can take these external sources and bring them into the product pretty easily. And it doesn't matter if it's time series based or inventory based data, you can do either or. It'll still work. All right. So another thing I want to show you is basically the result of the other data sets. So when you create a query and you bring in another type of data set, any one of these data sets is going to be available. All right, so you can see that you have a number of things here. It is flat data, so you have to look at the use case for this. All right, so if I bring in, you know, number one, number two, and year and whatever, the data will still render, but it has to have you know, a rhyme or reason. You got to look at it from a, you know, the spreadsheet's perspective. But this data actually is real and it will work. So let me show you what it looks like. So I'll bring in this right here, okay, and then I'm going to run a right click and view tabular data, and you can see it actually comes in. It's the same picture you saw in the spreadsheet. All right, so when you look at the spreadsheet data and I go to region, all right, region charts, that's what you see. Perfect. It came in very nicely. It's flat data. Remember, it's a little bit more difficult to combine, but it will work. You can do it. All right, so very interesting concept. Hope this helps you. I think it will. There are a lot of use cases that we can leverage in the future. One caveat though, and I'm going to emphasize this portion, when you can only manually import the data from a spreadsheet. There is no mechanism today, as far as I know, to automate the import of the data. All right, so if you're if you're wanting to keep up to date with the data set, and if it does change, it definitely needs to be done manually. Now, a lot of times we're looking at static data sets. You know, rate cards is a good use case as well. Bringing in a rate card that doesn't change that often is a really good use case. But again, the idea is just to look to see how we can combine an external data source quickly and add it to the Cognos environment. All right, so that's the end of this session, and hopefully it is useful. And please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.